Like a goldfish, we teenagers are sealed and shielded away from the rest of the world, looking at it through a glass bowl. As Fitzgerald would put it, we are within and without. Society has redeemed us as selfish, narcissistic, irresponsible, careless, rebellious, unreliable, lazy, self-loathing, and entitled. Some people have even gone as far as saying that we have no future. Whatever happened to being told that the sky was the limit? From the time we can first walk and talk, we're told that we can do anything. We can be anything, whether that's a princess, an astronaut, or a movie star. Over time, reality affects these decisions, and when we're 10, our answers change to wanting to be a veterinarian, a professional athlete, or a pop star. But one day, the dreams die. Because one day in May, your 5th grade teacher tells you and the rest of your classmates the reality of the world. None of you are going to Stanford. None of you. 2 of you might go to an Ivy League school, but none of you are going to Stanford. The room suddenly became silent, but it was the loudest silence that I've ever heard. Whether it was out of spite of us being too rambunctious or she genuinely believed it, I'll never truly know. Even though I didn't really want to go to Stanford, it hurt me. It shattered me. It wasn't the thought that I wouldn't make it, but rather the matter that my teacher didn't believe in me. This idea has remained with me ever since, and at first I wanted to disprove her. I wanted her to regret the day that she told my 5th grade self that I wouldn't go to Stanford. I started saving my pennies and dimes in a jar, and I tried to do my best in school so that one day I could walk up to her with my diploma and tell her, "You were wrong." As we continue to grow older, we're told we can do less and less. Suddenly, you can't become a doctor. You can only go to med school if you obtain a certain GPA and have the right bank account balance. There's absolutely no way you can become an astronaut because NASA would never look at you because you failed a science class freshman year. You can't get faster than a 6-minute mile? Sorry, you're not becoming a professional athlete. High school is supposed to help shape us into becoming an adult, the future leaders of the new and upcoming world. So why do so many people feel that it's ruining us? The average student has between 2 to 4 hours of homework each night, on top of soccer practice, yearbook deadlines, singing lessons, and time to see friends and family, as well as eat food. There's not enough time in the day for all of it. We fall asleep in class, and the teachers wonder why. Parents always give long, gruesome speeches on how they used to get straight A's and manage being on the soccer team and going on dates with their high school sweetheart every other night. They grew up in a time where they would have to go to the library to find sources for their essay, and they would need typewriters to print their work. They compare it to the work that high schoolers do today, and they call us lazy. What they don't understand is it's not one essay we have to write in those 2 weeks. It's also 2 packets of the biology homework, 3 chapters of The Great Gatsby to read and annotate, an 8-page geometry unit review, 2 spreads and an index to finish for yearbook, 4 5 to 9 shifts at work, 5 songs to memorize for choir, and a 14-minute presentation due next Tuesday in history. Technology might be at the touch of our fingertips, but with the internet being so accessible, instead of just having to write an essay, it's 26 other assignments on top of it. Many adults tend to underestimate the amount of pressure on teenagers today. Sure, we're not paying taxes or taking care of children, but there's other pressures that we face that aren't as present in the adult world. The stresses don't end at the high school front door either. Nor does it end when the last page of math homework is done or when the final page of the book turns. No. The pressures of being a teenager extend far beyond the academic category. There's peer pressure. Pressure from the media to dress and look a certain way. Pressure to try drugs and alcohol. Pressure to have sex. Pressure to be friends with certain people. Pressure to fit in with a specific crowd. Pressure to try and change who you are to please others. Parents put pressures on their kids to try and be the better child, get certain grades, and do certain activities whether the child truly likes them or not. Parents, society, and schools set standards that are nearly impossible to meet completely. When we don't meet these expectations, we get down on ourselves. We begin to believe all the negative things we've been told. We give in because how are you going to escape something that's completely surrounding you at every moment of the day? It's important to strive to become better, but it's more important to have satisfaction in our lives and not constantly beat ourselves up over every bad test grade. Today, there's just too much pressure on teens. They have to take mental health days from school just to be able to do their work for the rest of the week. So many teens are turning to drugs, self-harm, narcotics, anything that can take the stress away, even if it's just temporarily. Teens are looking for an outlet, some form of expression in their life. They're looking for something they can control during a time when it seems every decision is being made for them. That's why there's so many teens who are self-harming, developing eating disorders, and doing other various illegal and/or dangerous things. High school is a completely different world of its own. From an outsider's perspective, it's full of fun, projects, food Mondays, puppy love, and drama. But that's not what it is. Not for us. Rather, it's full of 2 a.m. anxiety-provoking essays, bullying by fellow classmates just because we do or don't have faith in God, heartbreaks that destroy us because He said He'd leave you if you didn't put out, being forced into answering questions in front of the class even though you just recovered from a panic attack 15 minutes beforehand in the bathroom, getting dirty looks in the hallway because someone spread a rumor that you got with such and such at some party just because they wanted to show up their buddies. It's sleepless nights driven by caffeine for the next day. It's hard to relate to a high schooler because it's a world that is completely different and it's always changing. The job of a student is to go to school to prepare for the real world. The problem with that is this is the real world. It's our world, a small sliver and portion of it, but it's real. We are people too, and we will refuse to be ignored by society. It's our world, and we have a voice that deserves to be heard. In that 5th grade classroom, my dreams were shattered. I was told that the sky was no longer the limit, and with that, my horizon became smaller with each passing year. But one day, I stopped looking at the ground and I began looking up and I realized the sky isn't the limit because if that were true, how did we land on the moon? In that moment, I decided I would be the only governing factor that affected my aspirations in life. The only limitations that will affect me are the ones that I set for myself. I will shoot for the stars. It doesn't matter what people think I can't do because they don't know me. I'm a sophomore and I have the rest of the world ahead of me just waiting for meteor showers I'll bring down. I refuse to do anything but make an impact. Who cares if I don't go to Stanford? That's not my dream. That's not the dream for at least 95% of the population. The sky isn't the limit anymore, so what's going to keep you from rising and flying above it? It's time to take a stand and take control over our own lives, to stop letting our insecurities drive our actions, and to quit listening to those who say we can't. The world is an empty canvas. Your mind is the paintbrush and your actions are the strokes propelled by your ideas. It's eagerly waiting for you to create your own individual masterpiece. So what is my message? Let it go. The stress, the pressures, the anxiety, just release it all. Don't let others tell you what you can or can't be, and come to understand that despite high school being a crazy and stressful time in our life, not all of it is awful. While it's important to do your best and focus on school, don't forget to have a good time along the way. The people we meet, the experiences we create, and the memories we fabricate, that is what sticks with us forever. Not the bad and cautionary times. Eventually, all of those fade away. High school is the time to meet some of your best friends. Have late night singing sessions over FaceTime. Go to coffee houses on rainy afternoons.
I believe in you. Where are you from? You sexy babe?
Would you stop? We're in public.
I don't care. Where are you from? You sexy babe?
Create new relationships. Jam out to Bohemian Rhapsody in the car. After all, we only live once, so why not embarrass ourselves and enjoy the moment? That is what we will remember. Whether or not we go to Stanford, the local community college, a state university, or not go to college at all, the important thing is that we enjoy what we do, we continue to chase our dreams, and we live for the here and now. We only have one life, so why waste it? High school is one of the most important times in our lives, and we should make the most of it, rather than worrying about the future constantly. My advice? Go out into the world. Take the time to fall in love, meet new people, create unforgettable memories with your best friends, experience new places, try new things, reach out of your comfort zone. Do what you love regardless of what anyone else says. This is your life. Make the most of it.